We all have been using Google since 15 years, and I see people using AI and ChatGPT like Google. That's why you need to talk to AI like... I came up with a framework that people can remember. And this framework, imagine that you want to solve a crime, you are going to call a team, then we are going to be specific about the problem. And for this, we are going to bring a second team, because if you want to be really top of the users and be good at prompting, you need to use these two teams together.
Welcome everyone to today's training, ChatGPT Mastery for Management Accountants. We are so excited that you are here today with us. Now you may be wondering, who is this training for? This training is for accounting and finance professionals who may not know how to use ChatGPT yet, who may not have, they've heard of it, but have not used it in the day-to-day work. This is for you. Or also you maybe haven't used it at all yet, and you're curious about how this AI tool can help you in your accounting and finance role. This training is for you. And if you are an advanced user, we have some great things for you as well that you can take away from today's training that you can start applying immediately in your day-to-day work. Now, a quick introduction. I'm your host, Nathan Liao. I'm the founder of CMAexamacademy.com, where we help accounting and finance professionals study for the CMA exam. And also the founder of CPEflow.com, where we provide continuing professional education courses to certified finance and accounting professionals. But today we have Nicolas Boucher as our guest, and I'm so excited because he is the top voice for AI in finance across the world. He's trained thousands of people in person, also virtually, and I'm excited for what he has to share with us today during this live training. So I would love to invite Nicolas to introduce himself to the audience that's watching us today during this live training. Nicolas, welcome.
Thank you, Nathan, and welcome everybody who joined today. I think if you decided to join today, you are already at the top of the people who know that AI is important, know that you should use it for your work. And my goal right now is really to train as many people as possible, because I think in finance, we have been really good at using tools. We are probably the best at using Excels. We are really good using ERPs. And I believe that AI, for us, we should also be the champion of the business, because we have access to so much data. We know the business. We know all of the other departments. So we should be the ones who are using first AI. And I want to make finance the champions of using AI in business. And that's why today, I hope I will make even more champions.
Thank you so much for spending this hour with us today. And to kick things off, Nicolas, could you tell us quickly, very briefly, what is ChatGPT? Why should management accountants be interested in learning about this tool and how it can impact their day-to-day work?
Yeah, so imagine that you have a new trainee in your team, and this trainee writes super fast, has probably a better English than you. And I think here, not everybody is native English speaker. So imagine this trainee is super good at English, and this trainee has read all of Wikipedia, all of the encyclopedia existing, but also knows the tactics on how to compute KPIs, how to use Excel. And you can ask this trainee any questions, but what is really important is how do you ask the questions, and also how do you give enough context that this trainee is going to help you as much as possible. So this is actually what you have in this chat box, which is ChatGPT and all of the other LLMs like Gemini from Google, Claude from Anthropic, which is backed by Amazon, or Copilot from Microsoft. So imagine now all of us, we have access to these assistants either for free or either by paying a few dollars per month. And that's why I believe we all need to consider using it, because it's going to augment us, but not replace us. Imagine you have a trainee. If you train the trainee, it's going to make your work better, your team work better. But your training is not going to replace you. It's just going to help you in your career because you will be seen as a great manager. So that's how you should take ChatGPT and consider ChatGPT.
Thank you so much for mentioning that, Nicolas, because one of the biggest fears across all the industries, including accounting and finance, is that AI will replace our jobs. So thank you so much for that clarification and for pointing out the distinction that AI is there to augment our work, our skill set, and help us be more productive in our day-to-day versus replacing our entire jobs entirely. So very good point. Thank you for sharing that. Now, you've trained thousands of people in the biggest corporations around the world. What have you seen as the biggest roadblocks to AI adoption? And how can people today be mindful of them and be able to overcome them?
Yeah, so I can show you actually an example if you want straight away, because I think people...
Absolutely.
What I see, and let me show you, I will share my screen.
That would be great.
What I see is that we all have been using Google since 15 years. And I see people using AI and ChatGPT like Google. So that's what 90% of the people do. And what does it mean? It means basically that if you want to write an overdue to a client, instead of asking the proper way, you are just typing keywords. And by typing keywords, you get really smart answers, but nothing that you can use. And the first reaction to people that when they use it like this, they see, wow, it writes really fast. Wow, the English is super. Wow, it's super smart. But it's not going to help me. And so they will stop using it, or they will think it's not useful for my work. So now, Nathan, if we were going to work together, you and me, and if I just send you in the chat Dunning letter, and you are my assistant, can you help me with that?
I think I could, but I would need more information as to what a Dunning letter is, how to structure it, how the output should look so that it meets your expectations.
Exactly. And that's why you need to talk to AI like I said before, like your assistant. And I came up with a framework that people can remember. And this framework, imagine that you want to solve a crime, you are going to call a team, and the team that I call is the CSI team. So CSI, if you are watching TV, those TV shows, is for context. We are going to bring context and saying, I am an accountant. Then we are going to be specific about the problem. So my client has an overdue since 2 months. So that's the problem. But don't stop there, because if you stop there, there is a high chance that ChatGPT will tell you, here are the 10 ways to solve your problems. But you already know how you want to solve it. You want to send a draft, or you want to send an overdue communication, so a Dunning letter. So if I use this, I will basically make ChatGPT work for me. And now it starts helping me in my work because it drafts straight away what I need, which is a Dunning letter. So all of you can read quickly. And the first reaction I get when I show that to people is, okay, it looks good, but when I read a bit more, I see that it's really standard. And if now we take into account that this client doesn't pay on time since years, then this is not enough, because this letter will just go to the bin or will not be read. And so you need to have more impact. And for this, we are going to bring a second team, which is the FBI team. Because if you want to be really top of the users and be good at prompting, you need to use these two teams together. So the CSI teams for context, specific, and instruction. And then with FBI, you have more chance to solve your crime. So the F stands for format. You are going to be specific about the format you need. The B stands for blueprint. So you are going to explain what you expect inside. And it's quite hard to explain what you have in mind. So you could here use words like legal actions. And when you do that, you know your client will react. And you could also use an identity. So make ChatGPT write like a lawyer. So that's in gray. You don't need it all the time. But let's look if I use this formula, this framework, if I have a better output. And now you see already the subject was much harder. We have bullet points with the legal actions. And I'm going to come back. And now with just the bullet points that we saw below, with legal actions, with what is going to happen, I think if I would be the client, I will probably sweat when I see this letter. And either they will call us now or they will react really fast. What do you think about that, Nathan?
This is a fantastic example of taking a general output from ChatGPT and customizing it to the specific case that is required on hand. So, for example, you use a CSI plus the FBI, great analogies, by the way, to further customize the output of ChatGPT to make the content actually useful that you can actually use in your day-to-day work. So, I found that to be very helpful. So, when you train during your live trainings, what is the aha moment that people usually get by watching this analogies and these comparisons and these frameworks?
What they understand is they need to be more specific. They need to give more context. So that's the first aha moment is don't be lazy about what you write inside this small chat box. The second one, as we could see here, is the first prompt was not good enough. And like you said, if you want to improve it, you need to go a bit beyond that and you need to improve your prompt or you need to do some iterations. And the word I hear all the time is, yeah, this is an iterative process.
Mm-hmm.
And once people understand that you don't get the best answer straight away, but it's a discussion and you need to tweak out your discussions and prompt, then they know, okay, it's normal if the value is not good and the quality is not good yet, but by doing 1, 2, 3 shots, that's what they call it in AI, like you have some shots to improve the answer, then you go really quickly from 50% like average answer to 80, 90, and sometimes 100%. And once they understand that, then the world open their eyes in front of them and they can really imagine how they can use it. And I do an exercise with them, and that I recommend everybody to do, is to list all of your tasks that you do normally in a day, like any small task. Imagine an email. Imagine you build a template. Imagine you had to build like a mini project plan for a new tool. Well, instead of doing it like you were doing until now, try first to do it inside ChatGPT, and you will see that either it's not helpful. So like this, you figure out it's not helpful, but most of the time you'll see, oh, it helped me. So either I was faster or either the output is better. And actually, most of the time you will see that you'll have a better and faster output. And like this, you will learn really quickly how to use it in your work.
Does the CSI and FBI frameworks, can that be applied to any role in accounting and finance, or is it more advantageous in more management type of roles?
No, it's really any role. Also, like you could, let's imagine you have colleagues from other departments, you can give them that. What I like to tell people is start with that. And once you will get used to the quality, you will know, okay, sometimes you don't need to be as specific. Sometimes just the CSI is enough. Sometimes just adding the format helps a bit, and then you go to your result. But it helps to be like kind of a mini checklist that you have in mind, that you know, okay, like here are all of the button I can trigger to improve my output. For me, what is good with this tool is at any level, from junior to CFO, from accountant to tax to treasury to even HR, legal, you should and you can and you should use this tool. And often when I hear people saying, no, but I can imagine this being used by another department, but I don't think I can use it myself. I don't see any task. Then like I challenge them, say, okay, like tell me what you do. And then we go through the task, say, okay, let's try it together. And really quickly they see, okay, yeah, actually I can use it. I did the test recently, was somebody who said, okay, I have to negotiate for a new tool because I'm in charge of finance transformation. So I don't think it's for me. Like, I'm in charge of finance transformation. It's not for me. And I was telling them, no, let's do it together. Like, okay, what are your requirements? Let's ask ChatGPT to list us the requirements. Now let's write the email to the vendors. Then let's try to build a negotiation tactic with the vendors. And really quickly, we had so much value for this person that she was like, okay, like the brain was racing. And, and I think just by trying, they saw that it was important to not be too skeptical about it, but try first and then make your own opinion.
Yeah, that's great. I love the approach of looking at what you do on a day-to-day and seeing how ChatGPT can help you. And even if you're not sure how to even connect the dots, you could even just take that list, dump it into ChatGPT and be like, hey, ChatGPT, how can I improve? What can I do better in this particular tasks? And ChatGPT will help you brainstorm ideas on how you can start using it. So that's a great way to start connecting the dots if you're not sure what to ask it. Just dump your information there. Nothing confidential, obviously, just a high level, a list of tasks that you do and see how it can help you. And then they'll get their brain juices flowing.
Maybe on confidentiality, because I'm sure the question is already there or somewhere.
Yeah, it's a big question.
On confidentiality, there is two important things to consider. First, whatever tools you are using, and not only AI, whatever, even like whatever information you are sharing in a tool, but also in a discussion in a bar or with your wife or with a friend, you have a contract. And this contract tells you exactly what you're allowed to do or not. Meaning today, if you print your monthly financials of August, you print that with you and you let that in the bus. Then maybe like nobody cares, like the bus driver will put it in trash. But maybe also your competitor will find it because they just sit after you, and then it will be really interesting for them. And anyway, you did something bad, which is like you broke your contract with your company, and you breached the clause of confidentiality. So now that we know that what are the rules, how can you use AI with those rules?
Exactly. That's a great question.
If your company doesn't have a contract with ChatGPT, with Microsoft, with Claude, or with Gemini, then you are not supposed to use ChatGPT with confidential information, because it's an external tool that the company doesn't have. I'll say like there is no framework around it on how to use it. But now, if I meet Nathan at a barbecue next Sunday, and we both worked together 10 years ago, we are both maybe management accountants, and I'm telling you, Nathan, I have this problem that I don't know how to improve my cash situation. And we're going to talk over the barbecue, and you're going to tell me like what worked for you. I'm going to share with you what are our problems, but never I will tell you what is my overdue amount. Never I will tell you my clients. Never I will maybe like explain you really the problem in quantity that you can tell, okay, this company is going bad. Like, you will not get any confidential information. We will just exchange best practices. And this discussion will still help me a lot. And that is actually what you can do with ChatGPT. You can go there and say, if somebody had an overdue problem, how can I solve it? Like, what are the KPIs to follow that? What can I do in SAP to generate an aging reports? And then from this, how can I select the most important clients to attack? And this is something already that will move you so much forward. And still, you didn't put any confidential information inside. So just to help people. And the third, I'm going to show after, but with data is the same. You should not put any confidential data if you don't have a contract with ChatGPT or the other LLMs. But you can always say, I have a file where left I have the country, right I have the amount in revenue, then I have the margin. How can I make a graph about that? And it will tell you exactly how to do it in Excel. And if after you explain, okay, how can I do complex formula where I see VLOOKUP and all of this, it will tell you because it knows how your file look like.
Those are great suggestions, Nicolas, because I know that confidentiality and privacy is a big issue with LLMs, and just people want to ensure that they don't breach any privacy contracts that they have signed. So those are great ways to go around it without disclosing a company name or disclosing financial data that would in some way breach that privacy clause. So everything has to be obviously clean and done with ethics at the forefront of everything we do with LLMs, including ChatGPT. So thank you for bringing that point up. Very important one. There are a couple of questions from the audience. Do you mind if we jump in and see what we have? We can maybe answer a couple of them. Let's see. Let's go with Simonia. Simonia's asking, thank you, Simonia, for your question, by the way. How can you take an Excel file with denial data and identify trends? So in other words, how can you take an Excel file with data and upload to ChatGPT and ask it to help you to find trends? What would you say, Nicolas?
So if you are allowed, meaning your company has a contract with ChatGPT or Gemini or Microsoft Azure, what you can do is, and those contracts, basically what they say is, we don't train our model on your data, so we don't use your data. That's what they say. And there is like a page on security that your IT team is going to read. And if they are happy, then they will sign a contract with them. If not, you will not have it. But if you are allowed to use it, then now in ChatGPT and for everybody, you have ChatGPT 4 where you can upload a file. And you can upload a file inside ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is going to use its really good friend called Python to see the trend inside those data. And why ChatGPT is going to use Python? For a lot of multiple reasons. First, those LLMs are generative AI LLMs, meaning that they are there to generate an answer that is the most probable. And if you are talking with finance people, we don't like probability, we want certainty. So
absolutely. Accuracy is so important.
Yeah. So I'm going to show an example. So because of this, what the LLM can do is to generate for you what is the best formula to identify a trend. And then apply this formula in Python, like you will do in Excel or with your calculator, on a lot of data, and then draw the trend on it, and through either linear regressions or just a graph, so that you can see it yourself. If you don't have access to ChatGPT with confidential data, then what you do is you explain how your file look like, and you ask, how can I identify trend in this file in my own Excel file? And then ChatGPT will list you exactly the step-by-step instructions that you can follow to do this work. The only difference is that you will have to click the button, but at least you do that in your own environment, and you don't breach any problem. And it's like, again, if I call Nathan and I say, Nathan, I have to do this work for my boss. I need to identify trend on a revenue file. How can I do that? I didn't give him any confidential information. And Nathan will tell me, okay, like there is this really good formula for Excel. I recommend you to do it like this. And after I will have done my work and I will have learned something. So I think maybe we can show how to do that. I have an example in video because right now the ChatGPT is a bit buggy, so I prefer to show the video. Is it okay to share, Nathan?
Yeah, that sounds great. I think everything boils down to asking the right questions to ChatGPT to get the best output possible, whether it's a trend analysis or otherwise. So prompt engineering is the term that we use here, right? When we communicate with ChatGPT. So yeah, please share your screen, Nicolas, and share an example if you don't mind. I think seeing it visually will help everyone understand a little bit better the power of this tool.
Yeah, so here we think that we are in the hypothesis that we can upload the data. Here, if I have this file with the name of the people and the department, the position, the salary, and the increase decided for 2024, then I can, for this file, I can use it. So it was just to show you how it looks like so that everybody understand. There is a button in ChatGPT 4 that is uploading a file. And here I am uploading the headcount file that we just saw. And then I'm going to tell to ChatGPT to act as a consultant and explain what is context. So I need to prepare a presentation to my board on the headcount analysis. And then the instructions is to make visualizations and recommendations. And now what it does, it starts reading this file. So you see, like ChatGPT is explaining, I am going to read your file. And that's what it's doing now. It's asking Python to show what are the first lines. Because ChatGPT itself cannot read a file. It can only ask Python, please tell me what are the first 5 lines in this file. And based on these 5 lines, ChatGPT recognizes the name of the columns. And ChatGPT then can tell you what type of analysis you can do. The same way that if I call Nathan and I explain, here is how my file looks like, what do you suggest me to do with this file? And then ChatGPT is going to write the code to create the visualization, because that's what you can do with Python. And it will continue doing all of the analysis that it proposes before, including analysis that you might not have thought about because they are a bit too complex for what you thought. And really quickly, you see nice graphs, you see also recommendations. And what I really like here is that if you didn't know where to start, then it gives you like a great basis to start with. And then you can continue by drilling down. You can, like, for example, here I have a big focus on outliers, or you could have a big focus on one department. But at least it gives you a start and it brings you from 0 to 80% really, really fast.
That is incredible. I just want to pause here for a second, because as we see how ChatGPT is generating the output, I want everyone to think about how long would it take you if you did this yourself in Excel without the assistance of an AI tool? Would it be half a day? Would it be an entire day? The power of ChatGPT to be able to do that much output within what? Was it like 4 minutes? Not even 4 minutes.
Now the video, you need to check, like we were at the video at 2 minutes 40 now.
Yeah.
And the most impressive, like my aha moment when I used ChatGPT for the first time with data in August. So it was 1 year ago. It was when I got this file that is coming soon, not this one, but the one after, where I saw a visualization that I never used in my 15 years of finance. And I did a lot of headcount analysis. And I was thinking, like, this visualization, so this one, this is for me, and I will post that here. Like, if you look about it, this is for me the best way to represent how the salary behaves in a company between different departments and seeing trends, seeing anomalies. Like here in the administration, we see that there is a lot of high salaries. That's the management. And you can see that if you were thinking that in maintenance, there is the same salary than production, then maybe because you knew like 20, 30 people that were here, then it's actually not the truth. Like a lot of people in maintenance get a lot of money. And so here, really quickly, you can see trends. Really quickly, you can see problems. And to do this graph in Excel, it's actually possible. And I learned it again thanks to ChatGPT. But I would never have thought about this graph if I would not have asked this assistant what is possible to do and to show me visually also what we can do.
Incredible. Yeah. I mean, the output, we can even use it as a tool for just education. To kind of ask it, how can we use this data or present it in a way that it's maybe different, unusual, or has a bigger impact? And seeing how it produces all the different reports and dashboards makes me wonder, can I export these graphs, Nicolas, out of ChatGPT?
So you can export the image because Python creates images. But here what you can do is you can ask how to do it in your Excel file. And
very good.
This is basically how you go from, I would say, like ideas to actions and to production. And also, this is also how you go from, I cannot do that in my confidential environment because I cannot give data. So you can also play with fake data. And then you go back to your real Excel file and then, bim, you get exactly the same graph.
Gotcha. Incredible. Amazing. So you can actually learn from ChatGPT on the formulas and how to set up the graphs within Excel if you need to tie that into specific numbers and have it be more dynamic. This is fantastic. Now, a silly question. Do I need, as a ChatGPT user, to somehow integrate Python into it, or does it come with it already?
No, so it's always inside it is like the back end. And that's also my message to everybody in finance. If the best minds of our world, because OpenAI is paying them really a lot of money, if they think that the best way to play around with figures, to make analysis is to use Python, then we need to be humble enough to accept that Python is actually the future for us. And let me explain you why.
Yes, please.
Python can deal with much bigger data than Excel. We all know that Excel is limited by 1 million something, like there is 1 million lines. Then Python can go much beyond that. Second, Python can actually create visualizations that are not possible to have in Excel. For example, a heat map. Like it's just one mini line of code in Python. Python can also create, combine, change Excel files, but also PowerPoints, PDFs, images, and Excel cannot do that. Another reason is that if you want to use AI for forecasting, you need to run an algorithm. An algorithm can be run with code in Python. So if you want to do a linear regression, you can just use Python for that. The problem before is that everybody thought Python is not for finance, it's for data scientists. And they were kind of right because you needed to learn how to code. But now you just ask ChatGPT how to code for you. And after, you will just put this code and put it in your own Python environment and to let Python work for you. And I can show you something where, for me, like it's the most aha moment when, for people to understand that Python is really a tool to start using right now. So imagine the situation, a lot of people had that, where you have your sales file for every month or every day, and you need to combine them in one file to be able to do analysis for the year or for the months. And the thing is, combining this file takes a lot of time and you have no added value when you do that. So there's a lot of way to do that. You can use macros, you can use Power Query, but it's still really slow and really heavy. Let me show you how you can do it with AI and Python.
That sounds fantastic, Nicolas. And that ties in with a question that I think Jim was asking. Is that, can ChatGPT take an imported Excel file that is huge and create a burn chart with plan versus actual output? So when you're dealing with large data sets or big data, sounds like Python is a tool to go to kind of manage all that.
That's the thing as well, is ChatGPT has limitation on how much data it can handle. That's why it's better to code in ChatGPT, but then to run it in Python rather than to run it inside ChatGPT, because you will hit problems. So here,
that's a fantastic hack.
Just to explain the situation, we have our sales data for 2023, and I need to do an analysis on the year 2023. So usually I will go in this CSV or Excel files and then like copy and paste all of them in one file. Well, here, instead of doing that, I will go to my best assistant, ChatGPT, and I will just explain what I want to do with my own words. And that's actually the future of working with machines, the future of coding. You don't need to learn how to program anymore. That's the CEO of NVIDIA said it himself. Like, we all wanted our kids to know how to code, but no, you need to know how to ask the right question, because the machine needs to understand us, not the other way around. And here, if I ask, okay, give me the code to combine, is just giving me the code. And now I will go to Google Colab, which is just Google Doc, Google Sheets, Google Word for coding. And when you see the interface, it's really easy. You just need to copy and paste the code inside, and on the left are your files. So here, basically, I connect to my Google Drive where are all of my data. And you can see that the sales 2023 are there somewhere. Yeah, they are there. So I will just copy the path to know where is this data. So I copy first the code, and then in this code, I paste it.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I need to change is where is the data, because ChatGPT didn't know where was my data. So I just copy the path, update that in my code. And once you have done that, and you tell where you want to have it, then you just need to press the little button up left to say play. And what is going to happen is it's going to connect to my Google Drive to have access to the data. But once it has done that, look in the bottom, the executing in seconds. It took 11 seconds to connect to Google Drive and 2 seconds to create this file. So now I have this file.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And you can see that I have first January, then I have February, then I have March coming, and I have all of the months of the year. And so that was 2 minutes of work. And the advantage now, if I need to do that for next year, all of the code is already there. I just need to change the file path. So it would be just 10 seconds of work.
How long would this have taken you, Nicolas, if there was no ChatGPT to show you the Python code?
Well, on 12 files, I think you can maybe half an hour, 1 hour, but this works with 100 files. This works with 1,000 files. This works with 10,000 files. And maybe the processing time will be a bit slower, but it will be probably, I don't know, like a few minutes or maybe less than a minute if you only have 100 files. And I did that with one time, like 80 files. It was also, again, like 20 seconds.
Incredible. I mean, even if it takes a couple of minutes, it's still much faster than what a human could actually do, 50, 100 files at a time. So even if it takes a couple of minutes, it's totally fine. That productivity just skyrockets with using Python.
And imagine, I could have said, for the month of March, can you just divide everything by 2? And the code will have just this, because maybe there is duplicates. Or I could have said, can you on top add a column, and each time the product is blue car, then just extract blue. So like this, I know the color. And so you can do data cleaning, data enriching, you can compute. And it's just all of what we are doing always manually. You just automate it once, and then after you can focus on the real work.
That is incredible. So this goes back to the initial suggestion that you had about if people are not sure how to use ChatGPT yet in the most effective way, to make a list of the tasks they do every day and start there. Because just as you guys have seen, as I have seen just now, how just a piece of code that ChatGPT generated, Nicolas just copied it over and was able to do something that would have taken half an hour, took him only less than 2 minutes. So that's the power of ChatGPT and AI in general. This is going to even become more powerful as time goes by. Here, Johanna says, Python is the future indeed. Fabrice says, Python is the best and the future. So a lot of people are agreeing with you here. Here we have a question from Caesar. Do we need to, actually, I already asked you this question. Do we need to add Python in ChatGPT, or it's already included? So it sounds like ChatGPT will generate the code for you, and then you can take that, copy it over to the platform that you need to run the code in to get the output.
But with ChatGPT 4, it has Python included. It's just that, can you upload your own data or not? So that's just the big question. And for me, even if you have a ChatGPT enterprise and that you can play with data inside because your company signed a contract. I was yesterday with the controller of OpenAI in a call, and there was already several times that I talked with her, and even OpenAI themselves don't use ChatGPT for calculation. What they do is they ask ChatGPT, give me the code, and then they run it in their own environment, because imagine how many people have a ChatGPT license. So you cannot run that in a bot. And that's first reason. So the data is too big. Second, how can you audit it? It's like a black box, and you cannot come back. So it's not auditable. And third, if you have a manager, if somebody is taking over your job, like you don't really have like a history of work that you can show. But with a Python notebook, somebody like an Excel notebook, everybody can take over your work and then continue working. And also, I think is not scalable. It's not really fast to always do everything in ChatGPT. It's better to make ChatGPT show you how it should work than build the production solution inside your own environment.
Great insights. The first one ties in really well with a question that Catherine in our audience has, which was, what is ChatGPT's margin of error on long financial reports? How reliable is it? So it sounds like even the controller at OpenAI, they use ChatGPT just for the code and run the calculations outside that environment. So Catherine, I hope that answers your question. But if there's anything you want to add to that, Nicolas, feel free.
Like I said before, you should not rely on ChatGPT for calculation. But if ChatGPT is using Python and you can click and see, like, then you can audit the code. And if your data is good and the code is good, then the output is good. But if you don't see ChatGPT using Python, then you can have doubts on the result because it will not be calculated in front of you. It will just be inside the machine as a generated answer. And for really easy calculation, it's okay. You can ask to show you the calculation, and usually at 99% it works, but it will make mistakes. And it's like in Excel, if you have everywhere is hard-coded and you don't have formulas, you will have mistakes. But if you have formulas and you change one figure, then you know everything is going to be consistent. So here, like for easy stuff, okay. For complex, just let ChatGPT give you either the Excel formula or the Python code, and then do that in something that is made to calculate.
Gotcha. Do you have an example of like using financial data in ChatGPT and how someone in accounting and finance could begin using numbers within this platform?
Yeah, so if you have dummy data or if you're allowed to upload, there is now the new function, which is data analysis. So a bit like I showed before in the example, you can get preliminary analytics. Like drilling down in data, seeing trends. And often, for a lot of questions, doing 80% of the work is enough. And if you had a question from your boss, you need it quickly and inside, that's good enough. If you want to do something that is a regular task where you need to document it, where you need to also base your full decision on it, then start in ChatGPT to get the process, to get the method, but then document it in your real tools that will be auditable and that can scale.
Brainstorming, creative problem solving, ChatGPT is great for those, but the actual work, what you're suggesting is to do it off that platform. But it's a great starting point because, like you said, it will do 80% of the work for you in many ways. It will give you 80% of the roadmap to solving an issue and then completing the rest on your own outside the platform using code or using Excel. But at least it will save you so much time from just thinking through a problem versus just going and executing, which is the name of the game.
Imagine you have like a super experienced FP&A colleague, and your boss just came to you and asked you, okay, you need to give me the trend in the sales and explain me why our sales don't meet the budget. And you never did that. And now you have to answer in 10 minutes, but you don't know where to start. Well, you grab your colleague who is super experienced, who is going to do some pivot tables, some formulas, because they know what to look for. And then we'll show you, okay, this is the graph you need to show to your boss. This is the answer. Well, ChatGPT is going to do that for you because you are going to explain, okay, I have this budget was 100. We are at 80. Tell me what are the 3 clients that made this problem. And then you will find that really fast because it's much faster than us. And like this, you can, after proof check if it's right, but you will have all of your response drafted. And for next time, you know the method and you will apply it yourself. And maybe you don't need to go in ChatGPT because applying the method in Excel will be faster for you. But if you don't have this experienced FP&A manager just next to you, then you can use ChatGPT to help you.
Yeah, it's a fantastic tool. And I think we have just scratched the surface on what ChatGPT can do for us who work in accounting and finance. And there's a question here from Pamela, and she's curious about, she wants to know more information about the ChatGPT Mastery for Management and Accountants course on CPE Flow. So Nicolas, this could be a good opportunity to kind of share a little bit more about the course, what people could learn and go deeper with you through this course, learning about ChatGPT and Python and so on and so forth.
Yeah, so what we really wanted to do with this course is first a fun course because it's following a storytelling about a vineyard company where you have the CFO changing and somebody coming new in the company, and you need to change things, and you need to use AI for this. And through this storytelling and through this story, showing a lot of examples. First, like I showed, like emails, so how to prompt. Second, how to write documentation with AI. Third, how to solve problems. So if you need to improve your cash, if you need to reduce cost, how can you use ChatGPT to be your free consultant to do that for you? And then, because it's the most important, like how can you do financial analysis with ChatGPT? Either if you're allowed to put confidential data inside, or if you are not allowed, and how can you use it at the end to be the best at using your tools like Excel, PowerPoint, and Python. And like, I think also a big advantage, this course is done on the latest version on ChatGPT, meaning you will see the latest features. You will see also how we tweak the prompting for the latest version. And that's a big advantage because I don't think I've seen other courses with this latest update.
Yeah, it's based on the ChatGPT 4.0, which is the latest model from OpenAI. And like I said, through this only 1 hour training session, we've only scratched the surface. There's so much more that you can learn. And if you're interested to learn more and learn from Nicolas and all the different tools that he can help you with and how to leverage this tool in a way that will help you in your day-to-day work in accounting and finance, how you can skyrocket your productivity. As you saw, something that would take 30 minutes, it took like 2 minutes to do. So imagine if you could take that and apply it to all the other tasks that you have on your plate, and how that could help you streamline it and speed it up so that you become even more productive and you stay ahead of the game by using AI tools in your day-to-day work. So if you're interested to learn more about this course, ChatGPT Mastery for Management Accountants, I'm dropping a link to the course in the comment section. You're welcome to go check it out. It's a self-paced course. And if you are a certified professional, accounting or finance, this course is worth 5 CPE credits that can go towards your year-end CPE total that you may need to meet the requirements for your certification. And we're offering a 50% off for everyone here today by using the code ChatGPT at checkout on cpeflow.com. If you click on the link in the comments, it will direct you to the course page. And then if you want to enroll, use this code to get an additional 50% off so you can start learning from Nicolas and start applying this tool more and more in your day-to-day work, because it's changing how we approach our work. It can teach you how to do Python code. It can teach you how to do graphs in Excel, but just asking it. So it almost becomes your tutor, your personal tutor, one-on-one tutor throughout your career, really. And as it advances more, at least you will have a very solid foundation of knowledge and skills on how to use it. So when OpenAI comes out with the next model, you're not starting from zero, but you already have a built-in, a high degree of knowledge using this tool, so that the learning curve is much, much smaller and you are ahead of the game in using and leveraging AI. So let's go over through some Q&A. Nicolas, what do you say? We have a little bit more time. Should we jump to some questions?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it. So let me go. Let's see. Let me scroll down. We have many questions here. Purushotham is asking, I'm new, trying to learn Python, ChatGPT. What is your thoughts on that?
On this, I will recommend first the course that I built with Nathan for beginners. Then what you can do is you can take our live cohort course that we have in 1 month with Christian Martinez, where we show you how to use Python and Google Colab and ChatGPT together. And this is really where, on top of using ChatGPT, you are going to automate your financial tasks, because Python is really what will allow you to do that. And what we do in this course, we break the barrier, which is, I'm afraid I don't know how to code. Where should I start? We bring everybody's with by their hands, and in 50 minutes, people get their first result and their first code, and like their eyes open, and it's amazing. And we show a lot of examples. We show you also how to forecast with AI. We show you how to do visualizations. So this is, you can check on my profile on LinkedIn. This is the advanced ChatGPT for finance. So that's basically, once you have done this course with that we are talking about today, which is ChatGPT for finance or ChatGPT mastery for accountants, then the next step is the advanced ChatGPT, because if you know that you want to include that in your day-to-day and you want to do it with confidential data, if you want to also forecast, because that's a big component of AI, is not only a chatbot. AI can learn from data and predict trends through algorithms. And all of us, I think we are doing that when we are in finance and budgeting. We are predicting the future and we are doing what algorithms do, but we can only do that on one or two factors. And algorithm, they can do that on so much data. They can do that on so many factors that you can get better forecasting. And the tool for this is Python.
Excellent. The next question is from Piero. And Piero is asking, can ChatGPT help us model a costing system? What are your thoughts?
So first, imagine you never did that. You don't know like what is the standard cost. You don't know which method of costing you want to use. Then you can start by just using ChatGPT as a teacher or consultant, where you explain your company, you explain your business, you explain also the type of data that you have. And together you are going to build a strategy and a method that will fit your company. Then after that, either you already have an ERP that can handle costing, then you will ask what is possible to do in this ERP. And then if, for example, you are using SAP and you have the proper data inside, then it will guide you on how to do costing in SAP. If you are not lucky and you have to do that first in Excel, well, it will also guide you on how to do that in Excel. And then if you go across problems, if you are not sure, then you will use it really as a peer, a colleague, where you can together exchange and work together on the problem. But what will be important is to give a lot of context, to maybe do it in several working packages, because the question is actually a project by itself. Because first you need to know, okay, what is the method? You need to know where are the data. You need to know maybe if you need to change processes in your company to apply the method, then you need to know which tool. Then you need to know how to calculate it. Then you need to have tests. Then you need to have reports to present it. Then you need to have a follow-up to make sure that your method is still relevant. And all of this is not in one prompt, is a big project, but use ChatGPT to work with you as a project manager and an assistant in this project.
Excellent. The next question is from Johanna. Johanna's asking, can you share the link for the courses, please? I would like to enroll. Johanna, we will more than love to have you in the program. I've shared the links in the comments below, so please click on it, but I'll share it with everyone again right now. And please ensure to use code ChatGPT at checkout to get an additional 50% off on your enrollment. And it is a self-paced course. Nicolas dives deep into ChatGPT, Excel, Power BI, Python, prompting, and so much more that these tools will definitely help you make the most of this. It's like, for example, if someone was to give you an Excel software that you've never used before, you may poke around by yourself and learn a couple of things here and there. But when you have someone teach you Excel, you learn so much faster and you become a power user. And that's the theme of today's training. We want you to become a ChatGPT power user, specifically in accounting and finance, because there are so many use cases across various industries. But the focus here of this course and of this training is to equip you, if you're working in accounting and finance, with the skills that you need to make the most of ChatGPT. We have a question from Sultan, and he's asking, can you please share an example for ChatGPT with Power BI? What are your thoughts about ChatGPT with Power BI, Nicolas?
I cannot show something, but I can share. Power BI has its own coding language, which is DAX, and there's another one, M. So here you can get help to code also. So it doesn't only code Python, it can also create code for DAX or M. ChatGPT can also help you create your dashboards by showing you how to do it, by showing you the step-by-steps. And if you are inside Power BI, you will notice more and more that Power BI will integrate a mini copilot, where there you can ask questions. There you can, instead of having to click everywhere, just ask, I want to see the average sales for the last 12 months. And if your question is good enough, then you will get the dashboard. And that's also where the course is really good, because it teaches you how to prompt the machine. And prompting is something, and asking the right question is something we need to learn, because like before, learning Excel was really important because we want to make the best out of Excel. Now, learning how to talk to this machine, asking the best question, is going to give us the best output. And I'm sure everybody here wants to make the best output so that they can get a really good career and go home earlier than all of their colleagues.
Absolutely. This tool is just going to help us be more productive and be able to complete our work faster than we ever have before. We are almost at time here, but there were a couple of questions that I would still love to get your thoughts on, Nicolas, if you have a couple more minutes.
Yeah, that's okay.
Here we have a question from Umesh. Umesh is asking, is there anything to be worried about on GDPR issue while using ChatGPT? Have you heard anything about this?
Yeah, so ChatGPT, you can go on their security page. So you go on the security page of OpenAI, and they will tell you exactly what they do with your data and which standard they respect, and based also on which pricing you use with ChatGPT. So either you use the free version, the company version. Then based on this, you can choose some options where the security is higher or lower. Especially right now, I think everybody can opt out, meaning that you just say, okay, I don't want you to train on my data. So they don't do anything with your data. And they show, I know that they are GDPR compliant, so they show all of this. The problem is if you do that and if you don't pay, then you don't have history of your chat. If you pay, then you have history of your chat and you have more possibilities. It's a business. They want to make money. But it's, like OpenAI is like Microsoft. First, it's linked with Microsoft. It's like Google. All of these big companies, they have to comply by the law. And specialists in security in your company, if you want to work with these tools, they will read the contract and they will say if yes or no, it's in line with the company policy in terms of security. And it might be that you are in a business of, for example, defense, where I was before. And we never worked with American cloud company because the Ministry of Defense in France said the data stay in France. Because it's security for the country, so we don't send the data outside of France. And when you are like this, you are not a normal company, so you have different type of security. But if you are like an SME and you are already using AWS for cloud, you are using Gmail for all of your emails, then you can go ahead because they are using all of them the same security protocol. You can read that and you can compare if it's in line with your security policy. And most probably it will be because you are already using cloud.
Excellent insight, Nicolas. Very good. Tijani says, looking forward to attending the course. Tijani, we'll look forward to having you learn in the course. Elaine says, super excited. We're excited for you that you have learned some tools here today, and we hope you'll continue learning through the ChatGPT course. We have here another comment from Amber. I've been using ChatGPT to help study for the CMA exam, plus Nathan's course. Amber, that's awesome. Glad you're leveraging AI already in your studies. That's fantastic. Last question here that we have for today is from Nwabisa. His question is the data process in Python secure?
Again, the data process in Python, it depends which tool store the data after. But you need to read if you have Python on your laptop. So imagine you have it's called IDE. So the tools where you can run the Python script, they are called IDE. If they are on your laptop, then the data doesn't go outside of your laptop. The problem with that is you need to download a lot of library and then your laptop starts to be heavy. The solution that I showed is Google Colab. And if your company is already allowed to use Google Sheet, Google Doc, Gmail, then your data is just in Google Drive. So if you are allowed to use Google Drive, then it's the same. Again, like Python is a language, it's like programming language, is not a tool. So just look which tool is using Python and then look if this tool respects the security that your company needs to have.
Fantastic, Nicolas. And with that, we are going to wrap up today's training, ChatGPT Mastery for Management Accountants. It's been an absolute pleasure having all of you join us during this 1 hour packed training. I hope that you got a lot of value out of it. Nicolas, thank you for your generosity in sharing your knowledge about ChatGPT, how accounting and finance professionals can use this tool to make the most of their work and become even more productive and think of ways outside the box. We've seen how ChatGPT can provide ideas and help brainstorm and problem solve. So any last words you'd like to add, Nicolas?
I really recommend everybody who was here to think that if you came today, if you spend 1 hour with us, you are already, like, you understand that the importance of AI. But there is a lot of other people that still didn't get it, still don't take the time for it. So we need all of us to make sure that we bring everybody with us, because it's only if all of our colleagues, all of our friends, family go and learn how, like, it's not magical, but how, like, exceptional what you can do with AI, that we will change also a lot of things in finance and in your companies. And like I said, like, if you can make the same work with less time, or if you can provide more value, you'll have a better career than most of the others. But if your team can do that with you, it's even better, because like this, you will have really more value within your team, and you will create also a lot of other colleagues that have a better career, and you will have help a lot of other people. So make sure you don't keep everything that you learned today for yourself. Spread it everywhere, because we want to be the champions of AI in finance.
And with those words, we'll wrap up today's training. Thanks to everyone. We'll have a recording of this training on YouTube. Make sure to follow CPE Flow on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to watch a recording of this training if you want to come back to it and get a refresher. And for those of you who have decided to join the course, we look forward to having you on cpeflow.com, where you'll dive deeper with Nicolas and upskill with the AI skills that you need through ChatGPT. Have a great one. Thanks, Nicolas. And until next time.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.